Okay, now that we got the vocals EQ'd, we might want to go in and start compressing it just to make the vocals even in dynamic range. What does that mean? So you can see that these waves have fluctuation in volumes. Like this wave's a little bit bigger than this one. He gets a little bit loud over here, and then it drops down over here. This one's a little bit quiet. So what the compressor is going to do is find the loudest portions of this vocal take, and it's going to take those down. And so what you'll end up with is a very even dynamic vocal that has little or more or less fluctuation in volume depending on how hard you use the compressor. So if you want to use a compressor, we can go to the second tab over here and go to plugin and go to our Dyne 3 compressor limiter. Now in Becca 330, 430, and 530, we really talk about the differences between attack, release, ratio, threshold, gain, knee, and all that kind of stuff. For this demonstration, I'm going to kind of skip that, and I'm just going to show you what the compressor does to the vocal in terms of the leveling and the dynamic range process. So let's just go ahead and go for it here. So I'm just going to go to my settings. And again, the compressor settings is really going to depend on how dynamic the vocal is. Okay, cool. So let's see if this works here.
Attention! Attention! Firstly, I just want to thank
So no compression is happening. Now, the way I know how much I'm compressing is through something called the gain reduction meter. The more this goes to the orange and the more it goes down here, the more compression is happening. Since this vocal is not like very, very dynamic, it's not, even, but it's not too dynamic either. I'm not going to go for too much gain reduction. So let's go for it.
Attention! Attention! Firstly, I just want to thank everyone for coming here, celebrating the engagement. I just have a few words to say for my fiance. From the moment I met you, I knew it was going to be something special. I remember the first time I took you out, my cliche ass took you.
So it's nice because we have the gain reduction on the meter itself now, right? So that's a new feature in Pro Tools. It's been around for a few years now. So to show you the effect of compression, I'm going to go ahead and record this audio track onto a new track so you can compare and contrast the waves before and after compression. So let me set that up. Now this is something that I don't do typically in an audio production project. I'm doing this to show you what the compression looks like after it's been compressed. But I wouldn't be doing this in the project. So let me go ahead and create a new track here. And I'm going to route the compressed version onto this track. And then I'll name this to vocals compressed, so you know. Now we're going to compare and contrast the wave here and the wave here to see how much compression is being applied. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and record this.
Attention! Attention! Firstly, I just want to thank everyone for coming here, celebrating the engagement. I just have a few words to say for my fiance. From the moment I met you, I knew it was going to be something special. I remember the first time I took you out, my cliche ass took you for a long walk at the beach. Luckily, that's when I realized that you were as hopeless romantic as I am too. From that day on, I knew I found something that not everybody could find in their lifetime.
Okay. So now we're seeing two audio waves. We're seeing the one that hasn't been compressed up here, and then we're seeing the compressed version down here. Now you can see that it's not a drastic difference between the two, but there is some compression being applied. And how do I know? For example, look at this wave versus this wave. I'm going to zoom in here. And you can see that there's a little peak over here, but that peak has been kind of contained over here, right? So this one is a little bit more dynamic than this one. This one looks a little bit more even. Same thing with this one. There's a big peak over here, but the peak has been contained over here, and now this looks a little bit more dynamic, even in comparison to this one. So that's the general idea of compression, is to get your vocal tracks to be a little bit more even in terms of volume, so it can help, constrain the dynamic range. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And if you want to go through compressing your vocal track one-on-one, I'd be happy to do so during lab. Okay, take care.